Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Classroom Champions Live, where we bring our athlete mentors directly into your home. My name is Emily Cook. I am a three-time Olympian in the sport of freestyle skiing, but today is Tasty Tuesday, so I'm going to introduce you to your host for the day, Tiffany Parker. Welcome back. How are you?
So good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much. So, Tiff, we have one of our Classroom Champions mentors with us today. Can you introduce our Tasty Tuesday athlete for today?
I sure can. We are going to welcome Alysia Rissling, who is a bobsleigh athlete for Team Canada, an Olympian. She's also a full-time Classroom Champions mentor, 2018 Olympian as a pilot, and 2022 Olympic hopeful. Alysia, welcome to CC Live Tasty Tuesday. And I know I'm super excited to have you here, and the kids at home are also.
I'm very excited to be here. Thanks for including me on Tuesday this week.
Of course. Well, Charlotte at home is saying hello to everyone. Hey, Charlotte, how are you? Charlotte's a usual Lori saying happy Tuesday. And I know I'm super excited about what you're making today because I am fancy toast queen. I love eating it. I love making it. So I'm excited to know what fancy toast you're going to come up with today. And even the fancy toast the kids are going to come up with at home. If you guys look at the downloadable, you know that you can cut out your shapes of your fancy toast. You can use whatever toppings that you want to use for it. You know, Tasty Tuesdays, we talk about our light systems. Those are going to be our green light foods, our yellow light foods, and our red light foods. Green lights are going to be your goes, your fruits and vegetables. Yellow lights are going to be the foods that you kind of slow down on. And red lights are the foods that are pretty tasty, but you only want to have sometimes. And so as an athlete, food is super important to us. So let's kind of deep dive into what your sport is and what it looks like on video.
Sure. So Tiffany and I do the same sport. We are both bobsledders. The only difference is I am the pilot. I'm in the front seat. So in that video, this is actually me pushing. I push from the side of the sled. I jump in, I hit a push bar, my push bar comes down, and after that, my hands take over. I actually am the one that drives the sled down the track. And if you look on their screen here, you can see actually the blades on the bottom of the sleds. Those are called the runners. And I am using a lever and pulley system to manipulate the sled to try and get it down as fast and as safe as possible. My teammate, this is Tiff's job, they're going to push from the back of the sled and they're going to jump in. And then their job is to hold on tight. And when we cross the finish line, that's when the pilot will start yelling, brakes, 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 brakes. And their job is to pull the brakes and get that sled that's traveling, 130 to 150 kilometers an hour or 80 to 90 miles an hour to get it come to a complete stop. So everybody's got their own specific roles in the sled. And in general, we just like to go as fast as possible.
Absolutely. And, I love how on the screen it said brakes because sometimes you got to tell the person in the back, hey, brakes, it's time. We memorize it of the course, but yeah, as a pilot, it's super cool because you're the person that gets us down the track.
Yeah, super cool. And also a little bit more sometimes responsibility that you don't want, but most of the time it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, now that we get a chance to go into your kitchen, let us know what we're making today.
So you're in my kitchen. I'm here. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. I have been quarantined in my house, it seems, for a couple months now. And we're going to make what my favorite breakfast is, and that is fancy toast. So my favorite is avocado toast. So I'm going to show you guys today what we're doing with that. I've got the toast, got 1 more minute in the toaster oven, which is over here. And I've got some stuff prepped to put onto my fancy toast. So I like making mine, use these little ready-made guacamole kits. And I spread this with some strawberries. I have some seasoning. I have 2 different types of seasoning. This is my favorite. It's called Everything But the Bagel Sesame. And then I also have this other one called Smoky Bacon. And it just gives them more flavor. And I also am going to make sure I'm getting some extra protein on my toast. So I have some turkey bacon, which is kind of that medium food because it's still bacon, but it's a little bit lower fat and a little bit higher protein for myself, which is what my big macronutrients are needed. And And I've also got some salt and pepper. And then just sweeten it up a little bit, I've got some strawberries that are already cut up and ready to go. So I got 20 seconds left on my toast, but I think I can take it out now.
Awesome. Well, as you're going to your toast, Charlotte at home is saying, "Hey, I live in Calgary." Dylan says hello. And yeah, so you got some Calgarian friends with you here.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I got my neighbors. Maybe they're my neighbors on here. So the beef toaster oven's done. So I usually don't eat this much toast in the morning, but I just wanted to show you guys some options. So we're gonna do 3 different varieties, so you can see the kind of ways that I like to make my avocado toast. But avocado isn't the only thing, because I know there are people out there that maybe don't like avocado, but the biggest reason why I eat it is because it's got a great source of healthy fats. And you know what else is a great source of healthy fats? Nut butter. So maybe if there's people out there that prefer some peanut butter or almond butter, I always have that as a backup plan as well. And yeah, I'm gonna start going here. So I like to spread my guacamole mix avocado onto my toast. And I know you can't see it over here, but we'll do this. And I like to get it really on there. And the best part about it is you can cut all these into healthy shapes, or not healthy shapes, fun shapes after, and make them look kind of fun. And then it's a fun snack to eat. So I'm gonna do 2 that have avocado on them, and then 1 with peanut butter. And some people don't like strawberries with their peanut butter. That's no problem. You can sub out other fruit. So you can get some blueberries or blackberries or banana. Banana goes great with peanut butter. And I also like to add seasoning to mine. So on my peanut butter toast, I'm going to put some cinnamon before I put down the strawberries.
Ooh, that's different.
Yeah, mix it up a little. I'm going to put this over here actually. And then I can turn and turn back. So I've got 2 with guacamole and 1 with peanut butter. And so on one of my ones with guacamole, I'm going to put in my turkey bacon. It's already cooled off a little bit, so just be careful if you're making this at home. You definitely are going to need an adult to help you out, and you're definitely going to need an adult to help you cut out any shapes that you want to do or cut up any fruit. So I've got 1 with turkey bacon, and I'm going to sprinkle my smoky bacon seasoning on there. Oh yeah. And then my next one, I'm going to do avocado and add some strawberries. So I already cut these up using a cutting board and a safe knife. And I wish I knew how to make faces or something, because that would look really cool. I just like to make different rows and layers. So I'll show you that in 1 sec.
I bet there's some kids at home that can make faces.
Oh, I bet you they can make some really good ones. So on this one, I like to put my everything but the bagel sesame seasoning on. Oh yeah. And then on my peanut butter one, I'm going to add some cinnamon just to bring out some flavor. And then I'm going to put a couple strawberries on there. And I'm sure everyone at home has some of their favorite seasonings they like to add. I like cinnamon everything. So I put cinnamon pretty much on anything to make it that's sweet-ish or earthy, nutty like that. And now we have it. Pretty simple, pretty easy make. So I've got my avocado toast with my turkey bacon. So this one's my one with the extra protein. And then I've got my toast with strawberries and my sesame seasoning and avocado. And then I have my pretty simple peanut butter, strawberries, and cinnamon toast. I don't know which one I'm going to eat first.
It's making me so hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, man, we always talk about like what it's like to be an athlete, and healthy living is important for your mind and your body. And so like what are some of your go-to snacks while training?
So I train usually in the mornings, and I always make sure that I have a balanced breakfast before I start. So this actually would be a great balanced breakfast for me because I have my carbohydrates in my toast, and I actually am gluten intolerant. But so the toast I get is gluten free, and then that won't bug my belly, so it will make me feel energized and ready to go. I have my protein on there, and I always make sure that I get some sort of fruit and vegetable in at breakfast time. And then I go and have the energy to get through my training sessions, because my first training session is usually 2 or 3 hours long time. And after that, I'll have a protein shake, and then followed up by some stretching and recovery and shower. And then I'll make myself some lunch. And for lunch, I always have some form of protein, such as chicken or fish, and usually just with a salad and maybe some sweet potatoes. And then for dinners, I like to be creative. I like to mix it up. Today I get to have some Italian food for dinner, and other days I'll have just a salad. Or I like to eat, now that it's been nice out here in Calgary, I like to barbecue. So I've been barbecuing some bison burgers and some chicken thighs and things like that. And then, of course, like no other, I do like some red foods occasionally. So once or twice a week, I get to follow up my dinner with some ice cream, because that's my go-to red food, but not all the time. And definitely a treat, but I'm human too. So I like to eat that regular stuff that, we know we shouldn't, but it's good.
Absolutely. Well, Dylan had a question at home, and he says, has your sled ever flipped over?
Well, Dylan, I'm sorry to report that yes, my sled has flipped over many, many times. There are different pilots who will go through their entire career that won't even flip their sled over one time. I am not one of those. I like to learn, I say, the hard way, but I still always learn. So I have made mistakes that have caused myself and my brakeman to completely flip all the way upside down. And when you're going 140 kilometers an hour upside down, there's nothing you can do. You just stay in the sled, you get as small as possible, and you just hope that the sled will eventually come to a stop. It always does at the end, and then you can get out, and you just hope that there's no injuries. It's like getting in a really fast car crash, unfortunately, but we don't have seatbelts and we don't have airbags. So bobsled is a crazy, crazy sport, and it's definitely one that you cannot do until you're an adult. You need your body to be at physical maturity. But if you're a little bit of a daredevil, I know I loved tobogganing when I was a kid. So now I get to do adult tobogganing, and it's really fun. And you just do your best to try and not end up upside down. Sometimes it happens, and it's just part of the sport, and you have to accept it and kind of put on your brave face and get back in the sled and go again.
Absolutely. And we kind of call that word that we talked about yesterday, perseverance, and what it looks like when, you face something rough or hard, or you have something that you want to accomplish. And even in the bad things, you work through it and you make it happen. So, coming from basketball, like, what made you choose bobsled?
So bobsled was a sport that I could start when I was an adult. And I was actually a basketball player in university. So I played for the University of Alberta. I was a Panda, played basketball for 5 years while I finished a degree. And when I retired from that and finished my degree, I was kind of wondering what I was going to do next with my life. I tried to do a master's degree to a program, and to be honest, I didn't get in. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll try being an athlete again. And bobsled was the only sport I knew that you could get into when you're an adult. So I drove the 3 hours south from Edmonton to Calgary, because there's a track here in Calgary. And I tried it out, and I absolutely loved it. And I decided that I was going to do it. I did my first year in the back seat, like you, Tiff. And then after that, I realized that if I wanted to seriously pursue to get to the Olympic Games, I was never going to be the fastest athlete that there was. And I was going to have to learn how to drive the sled. And learning to drive the sled was not easy. It wasn't very good to start. And it took me a couple of years before I could figure it out. But since then, I've got to travel the world. I've got to go to Korea for the Olympic Games in 2018. I've gone to Salt Lake and Park City, Utah, and then to Lake Placid, New York, and spent a lot of time here between Calgary and Whistler. And then I got to go to Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and this year I think I even get to go to Latvia. So I get to travel the world racing my toboggan. Pretty sweet job, I think. So one that I'm happy to be still doing at the age of 31.
Absolutely. And you said daredevil, and you have some out there. Charlotte says that she's a daredevil, and Dylan says that he likes to keep his feet out of really fast objects, and he's more of a sprinter. And so, as a bobsled athlete, like, you have to sprint. We have to sprint. We have to lift. So, yeah, Dylan can still sprint and do all the things that he does now as a kid. And who knows, like he may be the next bobsled athlete. We don't know yet.
Maybe I have to go to the sprint track today and do my workout. So it's definitely a hybrid thing where you get to do your sprint and you get to run really, really fast, but then you also have to be really strong because the bobsled weighs about 400 pounds and you have to get it moving. So that's why we do a lot of weightlifting as well. So I've been lucky to be quarantined in this big house because in my garage outside, I've got a full gym where I can lift all the weights. And I know that some of my other teammates and my American teammates haven't been so lucky. So I feel happy that I've been able to keep up with my training.
Yeah. So I'm all about travel, and like I could see it light up in your face when you were like, I've been able to go to Austria and Switzerland and all these places. What's your favorite place that you've traveled to, and like a food that you like from that place?
Ooh, that's a good question. So my favorite place that I have gone to is Switzerland, and it's this place called St. Moritz, and their slogan is "They're top of the world." So you literally feel like you're on top of a mountain. You're above the clouds, and it's always bright blue and sunny, but always freezing there. And the track there is made out of natural ice. So every year they dig it out of ice and snow. It's unlike any other track because the ones that we have here in North America are basically big tubes, concrete tubes that they pour ice over like a hockey rink. So when you go to St. Moritz, it's a completely different experience. And when you drive your sled down the track, it's quiet because the way that ice is, whereas when you drive your sled down on any of the North American tracks, it can be a little bit noisier and clankier as the metal grinds down. So it's a pretty special place to go, and it's a lot of fun. It is very expensive there. And they don't really have any weird food in Switzerland, to be honest. It's like pretty typical. They have delicious food. Like everything there seems to be gourmet because Switzerland is such a blend of cultures, because Switzerland they neighbor Italy, they neighbor France, and they neighbor Germany. So they have a little bit of infusion of all three of those cultures. So they have everything from the most delicious pasta and pizza you've ever tasted to these gourmet French cooked chicken, to the schnitzel that they would have in Germany. So it's a little mix of everything that you get there. Pretty special. I will say the weirdest food I ever tried was when I got to go to Korea for the Olympics. And I don't even know what some of it was called, but you got to sit on tables and you sit on the floor and you cross your legs, and they bring you slabs of meat and basically light little barbecues in the middle. And they let you try all this stuff from kimchi, which is really spicy, form of cabbage, which sounds weird, but it's actually delicious. And you get to cook these slabs of meat, and they bring you tongs, and you just work your meat right at the table. And it's such a fun experience to do. And I got to do it with all my family that came to watch me at the Olympic Games. So I really enjoyed that. And it was fun to experience that culture.
Oh man, that's so cool. Like just even hearing like the community aspect that you named around food, and like when you go to different places, like that is such a cool experience. And I know the kids at home, like we want to know what your experiences have been around food, cool things that you've tried in places you may have been, or maybe even places you want to go. And so one thing that we always do on Tasty Tuesday is leave the kids with a challenge. So I personally want to challenge the kids to join Alysia in healthy living and make your own fun, fancy toast. You can put whatever you want to put on it, take a picture, tag hashtag classroom champions, and let us know, let us see. But thank you so much, Alysia, for hanging out with us and for making your avocado toast and your peanut butter toast and telling us about the sport that you love, bobsleigh, and yeah, the awesome travel that you've gotten to experience through it all. So thank you guys all at home for joining us on Tasty Tuesday, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I really look forward to seeing what kind of toast you guys have.
Of course. And happy Classroom Champion Days. I can't forget that.
Right. Classroom Champion Days. Represent. Yeah. It's a good day to celebrate.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you guys soon, and bye till next time. Oh, is Emily back?
Mm-hmm.
Emily's back. Oh, Emily's not back. Gotta love technology.
Yeah. I get to eat my toast now.
I love it.
Enjoy.
Bye, guys.